Hello, and welcome back to my journey from normal to Norway. Um, so, I think I already know what I'm going to title this video, and so I'm just going to start right off the bat. Just kind of exposing my feelings of vulnerability right now. I am just feeling like I'm not looking my best. This is a really bizarre thing to do for somebody who does not like to look at themselves or look at themselves very often. So, the way I do this before I film a video, I take selfies, which I cannot stand doing and didn't really do before having this channel. But I sit here and I take some pictures and pick one that I feel the best about, and that's going to be the thumbnail picture for the video. And, God, it's just a bizarre exercise because I was just picking apart every single one of those pictures. I was not happy with what I was seeing, finding just not great things to think and feel about each and every one of them. I kept thinking, like, wow, it looks like my bun is on the side of my head rather than on top of my head, and like all the frizzies in my hair are so much more visible on the screen than they are in person. And I've been breaking out recently, and wow, you can really tell. And like, maybe I just don't like my face with this hairdo. There were so many negative thoughts, and I kind of just forced myself to stop it and get over it. Just pick a picture and move forward, because it's kind of fitting with what I was going to talk about, which, as you can tell, is vulnerability. And so I was like, okay, this is me being vulnerable right now, and I'm just going to go ahead and share that because, I don't know, I think it'll help. And so, anyway, an interesting experience that I had recently, I was with somebody that I'm really close to, and a couple of other people, and I was kind of telling those people about my YouTube channel, From Normal to Norway. And I, in kind of a joking manner, brought up how that person I was with, who I'm close to, doesn't watch my videos. And they responded with, it's too vulnerable. Which I can't remember if it was it or they, as in the videos, or you, as in me, but something about it, it was just too vulnerable for that person to feel comfortable watching. Which, I mean, I completely understand, because I think that's the training that we've been receiving from the world recently, from media and social media. And I just think it's so, I was going to say important, but vital. Honestly, I think it's vital to combat that training, because I think it's wrong. It's not taking us in a healthy direction. And so I think it's really important to chop that down, to dismantle it, to expose it for the lies that it is. The lies being that, it's not okay to be vulnerable or to show vulnerability, to share that side of yourself with others, because they won't understand, because you're the only one feeling that way. Nobody else experiences that or feels that. Everyone else is good and fine and life is going great, so you better pretend like yours is as well so you can fit in with everybody else. And that is a bunch of lies. I refuse to buy into it. So yes, I am vulnerable, and what I do here is very vulnerable, and that's intentional, and that's purposeful, and I don't regret it. Yeah, I think it's so needed for us to share our vulnerabilities with each other, to stop covering them up, so that we can discover for ourselves that we aren't the only ones, that other people do have some of those same feelings and thoughts and struggles, and so we can relate, and so we can help each other out of it, help each other to grow and progress and move forward together. I think the more that we cover up what we're really going through, trying to fit in with others, I think that actually distances us from each other. And I think sharing who we are and what we're really going through will bring us closer together. Um, and I don't know about you, but that's what I want. I want to be close to people. I want to feel seen and known, and I want to know others and see others. Um, so, yeah, vulnerability is, I was going to say a big part, but maybe the core, the absolute core of From Normal to Norway, of what I'm doing here, of what is maybe my purpose in life. The work, the real work, not the job or the career, but the real work of what I'm meant to do in my life is to um, be vulnerable and encourage others to be vulnerable. And yeah, to share my life and my story so that others who relate um, can see that and um, breathe a sigh of relief, to feel seen and known and heard and understood. Um, so yeah, another kind of thing that I wanted to share as part of this, I've mentioned, a couple times before, some quotes that I've gotten from a pastor here in LA at Radius Church, uh, Joseph Barkley, and there was not this past Sunday, but the one before. It was so fitting in the sermon that he's been in a series talking about relationships and the family that you choose and just how important those connections and relationships are. Um, and he said a couple of things in this particular sermon 2 Sundays ago that were really encouraging to me and validating to me, especially in what I'm doing here on this channel. So I'm going to share a couple of those quotes of his with you. One is, "We've never been more exposed and yet less seen." And another is, "We're afraid that if we're fully seen, we won't or can't be fully loved." And those just really hit me because, yeah, I feel like what I'm doing here is really exposing myself, and there are a lot of other people in the world doing that through YouTube or Instagram or any number of ways. They're exposing themselves or a portion of themselves or a version of themselves. But I wonder how many of them are truly seen. Um, and so, yeah, that one stood out to me, that I recognize that what I'm doing here is very exposing. Um, but the vulnerability aspect of it is geared towards helping me to be seen and helping my story and the stories of others like me to be seen. Um, so yeah, and then also we're afraid that if we're fully seen, we won't or can't be fully loved. And I mean, I do get it, and I have felt that way before, and in some of my darkest moments now, I think I still feel that way, but I believe overall that the truth is the opposite. That if we're not fully seen, we won't or can't be fully loved. And that's why I think I've always kind of combated like trying to doll myself up, or look really differently than I do. There are people in my life who have encouraged me to do that, to, always put on makeup and dress a certain way and, whatever, and do my hair a certain way. And I'm not like trying to look bad, but I'm just being honest about how I look. I'm looking like myself because I don't want somebody to be attracted to that painted on version of myself and then not want to stick around for this, you know? So I would rather have somebody who sees me for me and likes me for me, and chooses to be with the real me. Um, so yeah, I think if we don't allow ourselves to be seen, we, by doing that, are not allowing ourselves to be truly loved. And I want to be loved. I do. So, I think, I think this is important. I think, vulnerability is key. I just do. Um, and so, yeah, I just kind of wanted, I guess, to address that, to put that out there, to, I think through the process, encourage myself. I have felt encouraged and validated, as I said, by some of this, but I think it's important to kind of put words to that. And so it's a good reminder for me, but I also want to put it out there to you, because that's what I'm doing here. We gotta spread the message. If it's one person at a time, it's one person at a time. Um, and that's how we as a society will change. I don't want people to continue to have to um, put on a fake front. I want people around me and who come in contact with me to feel okay being themselves with me. And so that starts with you. I want you to feel completely okay being yourself with me. And I want you to pass that on to the people in your life, to be an example for them of what it looks like to be your real self, to share your vulnerabilities. Encourage them to do that with you, and then encourage them to pass it on to others in their life, and on and on and on it'll go, until we are a society changed for the better, until we are people being our true selves. Um, yeah, that's it. That's the message that really gets me excited, gets me going, um, gives me a sense of purpose. And so I'm doing this on purpose. And I know that it might make some people uncomfortable. Not everyone will be able to handle it. And that's okay. That's where they're at, and it's warranted. It's not coming out of nowhere. I don't judge that at all. I hope for it to change, of course. But people will be ready when they're ready. And if that's you right now, then I challenge you to implement vulnerability in your life, and encourage it in the lives of others around you. Let me know how it goes. And I will, of course, take up that challenge myself. And yeah, that's it for tonight. I will be back with you again soon. Thanks so much for watching, and yeah, be yourself. Be yourself, and go love some people in your life. I'll be back with you soon. Until then, Hada.